time where something happens, we actually have a moment to come up with our interpretation, our opinion of what that was that just happened. And then from there, we choose our response. Okay? And what's important here is that your response is your choice, and it's your athlete's choice, and it's a trainable, response is trainable. When you look at this equation, what side's never going to change? Yeah, and what's some of the stimulus that your stressors that your athletes face?
Opponents, skill,
Absolutely.
or size, or speed.
Yeah.
Clock, crowd.
The crowd, yeah. Parents watching, expectation.
Weather conditions.
Officials' calls.
How about you? Do they face any stress from you? Are you a stressor for them? Yeah, I mean, this list, we could go on and on and on and on. And the key here is that this side is never going to change. You're never going to have a competition where you have no stressors. I mean, that's sort of an oxymoron. You can't do it. So what we want to train in our athletes is how they interpret what's happened so that their response, how they behave and what they think, keeps them on the high road. That they're viewing this as an opportunity, this is a challenge. All those characteristics we just talked about, it's a trainable thing. And what we want to avoid is the low road, where their interpretation of the things that's happening or being thrown at them is it's a problem, that they're a victim. Why me? Blah, 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 you know. So this is the framework kind of for everything that we're going to cover tonight, and giving you some tools on the field and off the field, tools that are going to help your student athletes stay on the high road. That's the name of the game. Okay. So off the field, what we're going to look at, we're going to look at goal setting, we're going to take a look at visualization, and something that we call get-ready routines. So 3 tools that your athletes are going to be able to use and train and work on off the playing field to help them stay on the high road. And then on the field stuff, we're going to take a look at what does self-talk sound like on the high road? What does behavior look like on the high road? And how can we train that? And then last but not least, my favorite, my Achilles heel, was choking. How do we deal with that in the moment? What's a quick fix in the heat of the moment? Sound good?
Yeah.
So that's the pathway for tonight. Let's start with off the field. You know, how many do goal setting? Anybody do goal setting? Great. It's not the main thing. It's deciding how you're going to go about achieving it and staying on that path or on that plan. And that's the crux. We have a 2-step process that really, well, let's find out where you want to go, but more importantly, how you're going to do it, how you're going to make that come to fruition. So the foundation of motivation, how many want motivated athletes? Or how many of you think, oh, I wish my athlete was a little more motivated? Well, one of the things I say is you can't motivate your athletes. Your job is to uncover their motivation, okay? Internal motivation. And the foundation of that is a solid goal. Discovering what their goal is, helping them set an exciting, toppable goal, that's really how you light a fire and light their fire of motivation. You can't motivate them to do anything. A little controversial, but you uncover what they're about. So in goal setting, you know, the goal is to change behavior. We want them to do something different. What is that? What does it require? It can be a mix. Does it require maximum effort? Smarter effort? We learned the other night about, you know, strategy, a different approach altogether. Which one do you think it?
My smarter effort leads me to see that it says all of them.
Yeah, all of the above. Some combination. And that's really where we want to get our athletes to go. So as I mentioned, this is a 2-step process. I mean, you can go to the bookstore and see shelves and all sorts of content on goal setting, right? You don't have hours and hours of time. You need to get it quick, down and dirty. How are we going to do this? So the 2-step process is figuring out, well, where do you want to go? Why are you here? What's the desired result for each individual player? And great. Okay, how do we get there? Let's look at an action plan. So I'm going to take you through this process, and what I want you to do is we're going to go through this scenario, and then we're actually going to have you set a goal tonight. So I want you to now imagine and project forward, get in your time machine, project forward, that you've just finished your season. Your upcoming season is now over. You've finished your last game. A reporter from Sports Illustrated That's how good you are. Thumbs up. And wants to interview you about your team and your program. And they're going to run this story. And she wants to talk to you about you as a youth sports coach and get your thoughts on your season and how it went. What would you like that reporter to write? What would you like them to say? And what do you want the world to know about you, your season, and your program? Okay. So what I'd like to do is partner up again, take a few moments, and just think in your mind the bullet points that are going to go in that article. Okay. Grab your partner and... What's going to be in your feature article for you as a coach and your team and your program?
Well, I think something I've always felt like is that they've had enough fun and it's been enjoyable enough that they want to do it again, that it's something that they feel was beneficial in terms of their own growth and that they were better at the end than they were at the beginning.
Improvement, fun, they're better, they want to come back and do it again.
And then I guess the final thought that I had was just the team sort of dynamic where they feel like they develop friendships and relationships with their teammates such that they felt, again, that it was a valuable process.
So good team cohesion,
Right.
all that.
Right.
Great. What else?
For me, I think personally, as a coach, you want to make sure that your athletes learn to problem solve and learn to overcome. So it would be like, I want my kids, I want it to be visible that I would tell them that they've maintained excellence, or they've maintained being a good team, whether they're a subpar or they're getting better. They progressively got better. Started off with a poor record or started playing poor at the beginning of the season, and then we saw that they got better. So I think I wanted to be visible, without even saying what's the secret formula or I wanted to be able to see that, wow, this team is playing better. So like the athletes have learned to elevate themselves during the season has progressed.
Perfect. Now, just as a note, I want you to know that I'm taking you through a process. You're the learner. And this is an exact process that you would take your athletes through. So if they're older, you could use Sports Illustrated. If they're young, it could be like a little school paper, or, you can substitute whatever you want in there. But getting them to talk about what do they want people to say or themselves to say about it at the end. Kind of that begin at the end in mind, sort of reverse engineering what we're doing. This is an awesome sort of schematic that you can use around goal setting. It kind of says it in one thing. Step one, where do you want to go? So what I just had you do is describe your vision. Your vision for the end of the season. What do you want it to be like? What you want it to feel like? Okay. And then the next step is it's going to take some tangible goals. How are we actually going to climb the stairs to this vision and make that happen? Okay. And then we'll look at the action. So underneath each stair are some smaller steps that you're going to need to take to make this happen. So we're trying to make it quantifiable. And what I want you to do right now is if you look at the bottom of in your workbook here, there's a section that says My Goal. I want you to take a moment and articulate what your goal is, at least one goal for the season. We talked about what your vision is. And now based on that vision, I want you to write one goal for the season. Goals generally start with the word to, T-O, to do something, to have something.